Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Talk About Feminism, episode 20.
We're your hosts, Mackenzie.
And Haley, and we have a really exciting episode planned today. But first, we want to recognize that it's episode 20 already.
Episode 20!
That's so exciting.
That's so exciting.
I feel like that's a
It
lot.
it feels like a lot, but at the same time, like, it flew by so
Mhm.
fast. I feel like we should be at like 40 or something, but this
Right.
is crazy.
I know. I feel like we're just getting into like the beginning of it, like
hmm
we've kind of gotten established now and we can only go up from here. So it's pretty exciting.
Exactly. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
Well, today's episode is super exciting. We are still obsessed with Tokyo 2020. And so today we're going to be talking all things Olympics from
Mhm.
history of the Olympics to Tokyo 2020 and beyond. So we're super excited. Anything you want to say about the week? I feel like it flew by as well.
Let's see. Last weekend I was in Florida at this
hmm
time. So I got back on Sunday and was just kind of recovering because
Yeah, you had a quick trip. You left Thursday, right? And came back Sunday.
yeah, it was quick but it felt long. So yeah, it was nice. I just spent like the beginning of the week working, and then the end of this week like just hanging out with friends. I did like a really intense hike yesterday, so my butt is really sore. But I'm actually not as sore as I thought it would be. It's literally just like one specific muscle in my butt, like on the side. So
If you're from Colorado or you've been here, you've definitely heard of the incline, which is what you did on Friday. It's no
mhm.
joke. I've done it
No.
twice and you've done it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's insane. So if
It's
you're
really
ever in
hard.
Colorado, check it out.
Yeah, it's basically just like this straight up hike. It's steps, like railroad type
hmm
steps, and you gain 1,000 feet of elevation in a mile. And it's really intense. Like there's like a false summit. So when you're looking at it, you think that's the top, but then when you actually get there, you still have like 800 steps or something like that. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
so
insane. Like literally people come from all over the country to see it. It's crazy. But the
mhm.
town itself is really cute. Manitou Springs. They have all sorts of little local shops and food. It's really fun.
Yeah, and they also have these natural springs.
hmm
And there's like 7 around the little town, I think, and you like cup your hands under and drink the water, and it's supposed to have healing properties.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Mhm.
So that
Anyways,
was a very cool thing that you did.
yeah, how was your week?
It was good. So this was my last week of working full time because school is starting for me in a couple of weeks. And so I wanted to take next week to prepare. I have one class that's going right now, but it ends Sunday before school starts. So it's only 2 weeks.
Mm,
But of course, as I was like getting ready and trying to rearrange all my patients,
yeah.
it just didn't work out that way. So I'm going to be working pretty much every day next week, but that's okay. It'll be a lighter load. And some of it is passing off patients to another CNA. So it's important to make sure like they know where everything is and
Yeah.
are familiar with the patient and the family. So it'll be okay. But I was very much looking forward to that and then
Yeah.
kind of all crumbled
Ugh.
down. But school is starting for me, so that'll be a big change.
Were you taking classes in the spring? You were taking classes this year, right?
I took two and they were both
Okay.
online. So that's why it feels so weird to go back cuz
Yeah.
I'm taking a full semester and um all of my classes are online. I think a couple are in person, but it's still like even the online ones like there's a Zoom meeting as far as I
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, I'm pretty sure she took classes, but not full time. So that'll
mm-mm.
be an interesting adjustment, but that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. It'll be
Hmm.
something new.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so fun. Well,
Yeah.
that's nice. I'm not jealous because I am taking a semester off, so
Well, you took
it'll be
summer
nice.
classes too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't taken a break semester since I started college, so I'm very excited.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true, actually. I didn't think about that. I've
Yeah.
been very traditional and just fall spring.
Well, also though, like my school, we had like the weird semesters. We had 4 semesters.
hmm
So it
Yeah.
was different. But anyways, So that's awesome. Well, you'll have to let everyone know how your first week of classes goes next week.
I
And
will, definitely.
yeah, let's jump into the feminist highlight.
Yeah, so today, like I mentioned, in honor of the Olympics, we are going to highlight Allison Felix. She's part of Team USA, so
Go
most of you
you.
guys should be familiar with her. She is the most decorated US track and field athlete. So she has 11 medals total, 7 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze.
Wow.
I know. Can you imagine the
That's a
weight
lot
off her
of
neck?
weight.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, she's a mom to the cutest little girl. Her name's Cameron. And her
Aw.
baby is everything. Like, she loves being a mom. I follow her on Instagram, so all of this information I got from there.
Nice.
And she, during her pregnancy, she had preeclampsia. And I didn't know
Mm,
that. It's very scary. Obviously she
yeah.
made it through though. And in addition to being an athlete, she founded her business called Saysh, and it's spelled Saysh, and it's a lifestyle brand.
Nice.
Yeah. So Allison Felix, she's awesome, very inspirational. She's accomplished a lot, and I'm proud that she's part of Team USA.
Yeah. We'll have to post when we post for the feminist highlight this week. We'll have to post her and her baby because I want to
Oh,
see her
she's so
baby.
cute. Okay.
So cute.
Definitely.
Well, that's awesome. We're gonna dive into more about the Olympics. Don't give me that look. I know you're gonna say something.
Every time you say dive in.
We're gonna get into more about the Olympics, and we're gonna start off with some history about the Olympics, and then we're focusing on like women in the Olympics and different little facts
Mm-hmm.
with women in the Olympics, female athletes. Um, so first off, when we were researching this, I was thinking we all have learned in school that the Olympics dates back to like ancient Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, do we actually know when the first Olympics was? But they make a distinction of like ancient Olympics and modern day Olympics. So the first modern day Olympic Games were in the summer of 1896.
Wow.
Which is crazy. That's really,
That was a long time ago.
yeah, a long time ago. And that was like, wait, 1896, 1996. It's like over 100 years ago.
You didn't want to do the rest of the math.
Well, I was thinking, I was like, wait, that was probably easy. I could have done the rest, but yeah. So the first Olympic Games, because they're every 4 years, you know. So the first ones were 1896, and then the second ones were 1900. The first Olympic Games, there was no female athletes.
Not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising, especially for the time. The second, I'm actually surprised that women were allowed to compete the second
Me
games.
too.
Because the second games were in Paris in 1900, and I was surprised that it was that soon.
Yeah.
But so yeah, modern Olympics, the second games were in Paris in 1900, and there was a total of 997 athletes, and 22 of them were women. And the women competed, they could only compete in these 5 sports. So they had an option between tennis, sailing, croquet, equestrianism, and golf. And some of these sports, actually, tennis and I think croquet were the only 2 that were only female.
Oh, interesting.
Like there was like male only like sections, but in all the other sports like sailing, which we'll talk about in a second, but it was like you competed in a team, so women could be on the team with the men.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see croquet as a sport right now.
I know,
So cool.
crazy, because that's a big sport, or I don't know if it's a sport or like a leisurely activity, but isn't that a big thing in like British culture?
When I think of croquet, I think of very rich people living in the
Yeah.
Hamptons.
Oh, I
But
think of British
I don't know.
people.
I think that's just kind of a stereotype, but it's really fun. I remember we used to play all the time as a family. Like on Sundays, we'd set up a backyard.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got that croquet
Yeah, we
kit
did.
or set. Yeah, so that was a sport that women could compete in. And so going back to the sailing thing, how women could compete in a team, the first female Olympic champion, her name is Helen de Portales. And there's a bunch of accents in her name, so I know that I'm not saying it with as much flair as it needs to have. But Helen de Portales, she was the first she was in the Paris Games of 1900, which was the first Olympic Games that had female athletes. And she was a crew member. She was 32 years old. She was a crew member with her husband and her husband's nephew. So it was the three of them on a sailing team, and they won. They medaled. So she was the
Wow.
first Olympic champion, which is really
That's
cool.
really cool.
And then in the same games, Charlotte Cooper, she was a British tennis player, and she was the first woman to win an Olympic gold medal in an individual event.
Hmm.
So Helen, she was the first female to win it, like in general, but then Charlotte was the first woman to win a gold in an individual event, and those were both in Paris in 1900, which is really
That
cool.
is
Like
cool.
already, the first games that they're allowed to compete in, they're just really going for it. So that's cool.
That is cool. Wow.
Hmm.
I would love
So,
I am so interested in this. I would love to find a book or something with like a comprehensive history of the Olympics back then and even like ancient
hmm,
Olympics. That's really cool.
I know because I'm sure in ancient Olympics, it's not like they had like big infrastructures like we have
Right.
today. I mean, they did have stuff like that back then, but it just wasn't as modern, obviously. And so I'm sure that they kind of had some like makeshift type sports. So that would be
The
interesting to
swimming
learn.
will be in the pond behind behind the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, like I wonder.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Another little fact, the only exclusively female sports, which are not surprising, um, but the only sports that are exclusively female in the 2020 Olympics, and because that's the most recent one,
Mhm.
um, it is softball, rhythmic gymnastics, and artistic swimming.
Well, softball's female anyway, but rhythmic
Right.
gymnastics and artistic swimming, not surprised. It would be cool to see some men do that.
I think so. Rhythmic gymnastics is like the
Mhm.
dancing, tumbling on the floor, right?
Okay, I'll be honest. When I was flipping through what events to watch, I came across rhythmic gymnastics and I watched 30 seconds of a routine. It was very cool. Obviously, they're incredible athletes, not my thing, but it was very cool. They had
Really?
balls and I believe it was 5 of them and they had this whole routine planned out to the music and they had balls. Yeah, it was interesting. Um
Oh, then I
and
don't think I've ever
artistic
seen
swimming.
rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah, I don't think there's many like there's that many events in it. You know, like swimming, how there's like so many track and field. I don't think
Yeah.
there's that many.
Okay.
But yeah, it was cool.
That is cool. Yeah, and then so the exclusively female sports, softball, rhythmic gymnastics, and then artistic swimming, which is also known as synchronized swimming.
I
So,
wonder, I mean, I doubt it's like only girls can do this. I bet there's just not a lot of men that are interested in that or have pursued that. But
hmm,
I guarantee if there were men that thought, "Hey, I should do rhythmic gymnastics," like they would definitely add that as an event.
yeah, if they had enough people to compete, I'm
Yeah.
sure they would. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to share some of the other facts from more of like the modern
Yeah, so for
time?
Tokyo 2020, so I went to the Olympics page itself and they had all the stats and everything. This is where I got pretty much all the information. But so USA took first in total medal counts. Woot woot. And
Yeah.
so we had 113 medals total, and it breaks it down into 39 gold, 41 silver, and 33 bronze. So America edged out China for gold medals by one. China had 38 and USA had 39, but still
Wow.
really cool. And then the women of Team USA won 66 medals out of the total 113 that they won total. So that comes down to 58.4% that the women won. And it's just a cool statistic. Obviously, like we love to
Yeah.
see women accomplishing. But like kudos to the men out there too. Like these are the best athletes in the whole world. So, like even with the events that like rhythmic gymnastics where I was like not really my thing, but like it's cool to watch and like it shows me at least like there's so many different things out there than like the ones that we see most often, gymnastics, track and field, swimming.
Hmm.
So, so cool. I love the Olympics.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. And also it just like yeah, like you said, they are the best in the
Mhm.
world and these people work so hard for it. And so it's really cool to see them achieve their dreams. And also, the commercials during the Olympics, it shows like a lot of their
Yeah, it
stories
does. I love
and they're
those.
so inspiring. It's like these people come from the same they have like similar backstories like to anyone. I'm sure that you could find one athlete that could somewhat relate to you
Yeah.
in the Olympics and the Paralympics. Like it's just really cool because they're regular people and they just work hard to achieve what they want to achieve. So we can all do that too in different ways because we all have different dreams.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah, Paralympics is coming up. I think it starts August 24th or the 28th, but it's coming up at the end of this month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that. Actually, fun fact about that. My school that I'm transferring from, BYU Idaho, there is a student competing in the
No
Paralympics.
way. What event?
She's It's either track or swimming, and she's legally
Oh
blind.
my gosh, how does she do that?
I don't
That's
know. There was
amazing.
an article. Yeah, there was an article about her, and I'm sure that they'll highlight her more because that's a big deal. Old school was like tiny, so it's
Yeah.
a big deal to have someone from school go to the Paralympics. So I'm sure they'll do like some feature on her, and we can talk about it.
Oh my
Maybe at the beginning of
gosh.
the next episode. Yeah, really cool. It was awesome because I saw it on like our school news and I've never seen her before, but how crazy, like, even though she's legally blind, like, she's still
That's
probably a better runner than
amazing.
me. Like,
She could have
yeah.
totally turned that into like ruining her life, using it as
Hmm.
an excuse to just not accomplish anything or, like move on with life. But that's really, really
Right.
cool. I'm definitely going to watch.
I know. I'll have to figure out what her name is so
Yeah,
that we can cheer her on.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So cool.
come to think of it, I don't think I've ever watched the Paralympics. And like, I'm psyched for it
Mm-hmm.
this year. But that makes me so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're the best athletes in the world, too. And like, they're doing it with
Yeah.
disabilities. So cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That's so awesome. Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk a little bit about some of the athletes and their inspiring
Definitely.
stories because that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, we have a connection to an Olympian, and we've kind of touched on it in previous
Mm-hmm.
episodes. But she's on the US women's volleyball team who took gold, and her name's Jordan Poulter.
Yes.
She is an alumni of the high school that we are as well. And one of our sisters is actually there. She's going to school there right now, and she plays volleyball, and
Mm-hmm.
she's on varsity. And
Mm-hmm.
so Jordan visited yesterday, and Sadie said that she answered questions for so long. Like, this is all her own time, like she answered questions, she passed around her gold medal. They got to hold it, they took
Mm-hmm.
pictures. Like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I I wish I
Yeah.
would have been there. So, there's like a back to school event kind of next Friday that they put on, and it's where all the fall sports, it's like their first scrimmages and games, and she said she was going to try and go, so I sure hope she does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if I was her, and I'm sure that she'll wear her
Oh
gold
yeah.
medal, but if I was her, I would be wearing that
Oh
gold medal
yeah.
at that event. And it's cool because, like we were just talking about, like these people have normal lives and
Yeah,
they come from like
exactly.
similar backgrounds. Yeah, like Jordan she went to the same high school as us. Like, her dad was our health teacher.
Yes,
Like,
exactly. Like, it really puts it into perspective that like, and Sadie said, she even said this, like literally just like hard work and determination can get you so far. And so she was a
mm-hmm.
senior when I was a freshman. So, and I played volleyball too. So like we were in the same volleyball program. I never really talked to her or anything, but like I know her. And her sister
Yeah.
was a grade younger than me and one older than you.
She graduated with
Oh,
me in
okay.
2019.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just so cool.
Hmm.
So that's very awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and our sister, she got to hold
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
gold medal and she said it was heavy. So that's really cool. She got to hold an actual gold
Oh, I
medal.
know. I told her, I was like, not many people can say that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So cool. What a good opportunity to talk to, because our sister, she's a
Hmm.
setter and Jordan was the setter
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
team. And so she got to talk to the best setter in the
Yeah.
world who plays her same position. So like it's just really
So
cool.
cool. Yeah, I watched that game. I watched like as much of the volleyball as I can because I love it. And I literally cried when they won. It's like, oh my gosh. Well,
Really.
that was the first time that USA women's volleyball has won gold in volleyball. So
Hmm.
they literally made history.
That's so awesome. I didn't I think, when did it end? Was it, did they win
Um,
last week?
a week and a half ago, I think. I don't know. It's
Okay.
been a
Because
blur.
I think I might have been in Florida when they won, because I was like sitting there on my phone and I was like, oh, they won. But then I didn't realize that like I didn't realize it was over and they won gold at first. And so I was like, oh,
Oh,
cool. But now I'm like, oh, they actually
yeah.
like won one. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool.
So cool. Well, this was a super short little episode, but we just wanted to quickly highlight a little bit of history with women in the Olympics. And there's so much more that we can dive into. And um, we were talking about possibly doing, like we did with Dr. Corbett, a full episode feminist highlight. Maybe just highlighting a female athlete and doing a full episode on
Mhm.
her. So if you guys have any suggestions for someone you want us to highlight, we'll put a poll in the
Yeah.
story and highlight her. And yeah, that's what we have for today.
So cool. Well, we'll be back next week with episode 21. So we'll see you then. And as always, follow us on Instagram at Real Talk About Feminism. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.